Hi, everybody. Welcome to your Thursday coaching call. My name's Lee Honish. I am joined by our Chief Operating Officer, Fred Solomon. How are you, Fred?
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
Good.
Derek has the day off for a doctor's appointment. We wish him the best. He'll be back next week doing your typical conversion stuff. But since Fred and I are in charge, and we were kind of in charge yesterday, we're going to continue right where we left off yesterday, which I think is kind of important. So yesterday, we talked about the market. And we all, I would hope everybody that was on that call would agree that there's certainly an increase in foreclosure activity based on the ATTOM data charts and the ATTOM data information. So my point of view is strictly this from a marketing standpoint, which is, okay, is it more cost, is it effective when you're doing, so what we're talking about is direct marketing. We're not talking referral marketing. We're not even talking web marketing. We're talking direct marketing. Okay. Let's keep this in mind. You should be doing 3 types of marketing every single day, at least an hour a day, each one. One of them is referral marketing, touching base with previous contacts, email lists. We talked about the infinity return scenario. Number 2, you should be doing direct marketing. We recommend our process when working with pre-foreclosure properties, but hey, you're entitled to go knock on doors for an hour. I don't know how many that would be. When I knocked on doors, an hour would maybe get you a couple of blocks, maybe, I guess. I don't know. But it's been a while since I've knocked the door and I'm not a big fan. And the third is digital marketing. And if you were here before we started the call, apparently I'm doing 9 videos today, back to back to back, until I basically walk on a plane this afternoon. But I'm excited about it. We're talking about great topics right now. We're talking about, what are we talking about? We always do a market update. The second thing we're talking about is the cost to relocate, which is a very real thing. And the third thing is certainly because it's trending in the news, which is you're moving into areas that may or may not have a higher crime rate. And I was shocked to find out that very few people across the country seem to care about the crime rate in the neighborhoods. When I was practicing real estate, that was a very common ask, even in Pasadena and Monrovia and Arcadia. People would ask, right along with the schools.
Well, I did a little test marketing on that because I was concerned myself. I went to Nextdoor and I said, hey, any of you guys want to know what the crime, I wrote a post on Facebook. It was a good post. I'll read it to everybody because I was interested in finding out how people would respond to that. And I did get about 7 or 8 people that responded. And basically I said, let's see, what did I say here? I'm getting, oh, hold on one second. I got to find it real quick. But it was basically, would you like to know the crime reports in your neighborhood, with the recession looming and, we're going to see more crime. And would you like to know the type of crimes that are being committed and blah, blah, blah. And I found the data online, and anybody who wants that data, I can copy and paste it in the chat box. I'm happy to do that. But I found some good data on that. And let's see, what did I say? With the recession looming, be careful of leaving stuff in your vehicles, purses, wallets, laptops, backpacks, tools, etc., because crime increases in a recession. Anybody interested in knowing the crime stats and what kind of crimes are most prevalent in your neighborhood? Send me your email. I'll email you the link and look it up for you. And then I put my email address on there. And I got 7 comments, and I got 3 comments on Nextdoor. So I had 10 people respond to me. So that was 10 new emails for my database, and I gave them some good information at the same time.
Yeah, definitely. It is definitely interesting to see. I want to pin that. There we go. Hi, everyone. Yeah, I kind of figured it would be like that. It's a trend, right? We had a very horrific weekend with lots of activity in that particular comment. And this all started as a discussion about whether or not, if I was in one of these areas in escrow, would I drop out of escrow because some crazy event occurred. And talking to the advocates of shooting these videos this week, what I was really intrigued with was people don't care. There's such a lack of housing that they'll take anything that they can afford. That's rough. As a father, that's rough for me. That's a big ask. And I understand rents are ridiculous. Prices are ridiculous, right? People in general right now are rather ridiculous, right? Life seems to be like some kind of bizarre parody at the moment. And, you know, I, I would just tell all of you again, especially the female real estate agents. I'm sure we've all seen the story. This is just me preaching to the choir, but please let people know when you're going and doing a lockbox or an open house or meeting someone at the, like, please be smart right now. People seem to be very tense. And I would hate to see anybody in my coaching group get hurt. It would not sit well with me if I didn't at least put that warning out there to be safe. As for the men, have at it. Sorry, that was funny. But those are the three forms of marketing. So for those of you that are new on the call, yesterday we went through the statistics. Feel free to watch that video. I'm sure it popped up in your feed yesterday, but it'll go out again with this video today. And I'll probably cut this one down. I'm just trying to record more of it because I think some of the stuff we did after I turned off the recorder probably was worthwhile as well. Today, we're going to talk about scripting specifically and what that means for all of you. So you guys all know it. You go into the Kajabi system, you go into your library, you go into the 12-step program, you tell people to Google you. So let's take these in order. I want to start with what I call the face-to-face method, right? I still think, no, I know. There are two things I know about my system. The two things that I know definitively. Number one, our face-to-face method for meeting and connecting and qualifying is the best in the industry with no experience in pre-foreclosure property. Number two, our direct marketing method, which has never been duplicated, which is still shocking to me after 14 years, 12 years. 12 years is still shocking to me that nobody's even tried to duplicate it. And my guess is they don't understand how I pulled off the open disclosure on the way the disclosure process works. For those of you who don't know my process for direct marketing, it's very simple. I basically deliver advocates to homeowners. We have a call center. We have a very open script. They ask them a series of questions. They inform them that Home Advocates wishes to send someone over and discuss their alternatives to foreclosure. So we're going to talk about that momentarily, but I want to start with the face-to-face method first, Fred, right? So we've been what my former business partner, David Bartels, would call the hot dog discussion, right? You're standing in line. I know this for me. You're sitting around, or I'm at one of my daughter's color guard things, and she made the college color guard, Fred. Means I got to go to college football games. Good gracious. I can't wrap my brain around that one.
BYU or was it Utah?
BYU. She made the BYU college color guard. And I went, all right, cool. I guess I'm into BYU. I guess BYU's my college football team now? Question mark.
They have good teams.
All right. They play San Diego State, don't they? Aren't they on the schedule every once in a while?
They used to be in the same conference, but then BYU went off on their own.
Okay.
But it's still really fun atmosphere. It usually gets 60 or 70,000 people at the games.
Oh yeah, they're fervent. They're all over it in Provo. So the question
you should like it up there. Because you can have multiple wives in that state. Well,
there you go. And there you go. Shout out to any Mormon on the call. No, he doesn't believe that, nor do I, but it's still a funny statement. With that said, David Bartels used to call it the hot dog speech, right? You're at a baseball game, you get into the conversation, the icebreakers. So we talk about this all the time. If I were in Vegas, I would be in Tivoli Square, over at the farmer's market. It doesn't matter where I go. For me in San Diego, I go down to the waterfront and I stop at a couple of places and have club soda when I'm out on my scooter, where I know people, and I start conversations. So are you an icebreaker person, Fred, or do you quietly listen and engage? Like, I think that this is where business really starts for any of us in this type of industry, right? We're in a people industry here.
Well, and I've said this so many times, what I do is I take my laptop, I take my charger, I don't put it in a laptop bag. I carry it, and then on top of that, I carry a vanilla folder with the options to foreclosure and some of the different, sheets that the package that you give them at the door. And then you just say, hey, I can come inside. I got to put my stuff down, and I can go over the items that I have for you. And I try to, it depends on how far they open up the door. Sometimes people only open up the door 2 inches, and they're just like, can you just hand me it? And then you slip it through the door. And I always give it to them, whether they're jerks or not jerks.
Yeah.
But I haven't been tagging in 2 years, so I don't know how it's.
Well, I will tell you
right
because
now.
I was actually, you jumped ahead one section. I was asking you, Fred, out on the street, like today's your golf day. How soon when you meet other golfers are you into a conversation about mortgages and real estate?
Oh, it comes up quite a bit. Yeah, and because they always ask what you do.
Yeah, that's
And
the
then-
right. So the question is, how do we engage people into how do you do it? And I'm going to show you guys one of the biggest things that Home Advocates actually offers. And I'm going to tell you guys to all do it along in real time with me, especially the new people. This is actually built into the program. So we wrote a script. It's actually on the coaching page for this, right? And so when the question comes up, what do you do, Fred?
Oh, I'm a mortgage guy. I'm in the real estate business, and I also help people in foreclosure.
Okay. Now I'm going to do it for me. Lee, what do you do? Now, feel free to follow along. All you have your computer, and all of you that are brand new, I'm going to show you one of the greatest features of our program. I fix broken real estate. That always gets me the second question. What do you mean? Oh, I work with people who've missed payments and who did forbearance agreements, who are struggling to get by on fixed incomes. We help those people. I work for a company called Home Advocates. Do you have a phone? They always say yes. I have never seen a person say no at this moment. They are so completely hooked in at this moment. Okay. And I say the same thing. Open it up, use whatever browser you want, and type in Home Advocates. And not www, not anything, just type in the words Home and Advocate. And they open it up, and on line 1 is Home Advocates. And then I tell them, scroll down. I don't tell them to go to my profile. That's too easy. I tell them to scroll down to where it lists all the advocates on the front page. I'm listed there with all of you, just like all of you. In fact, I think it's even my Yahoo address, which is even crazier. Scrolls down and they see my name on the front page. Is that you? Yeah, I'm a home advocate. That's all I do. I just teach people their alternatives. That's it.
Lori's got it. That's the Nino Sabroso.
Nino Sabroso close.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Nino Sabroso move is strong. So that's method number 1. I would challenge, we've done challenges on here on the Thursday call of, hey, go out this weekend and meet 5 people. I guarantee you're going to walk away with one name of somebody who needs your help. And I have never had to pay off on that bet. 5 people. Tell them you fix broken real estate. If you're on the front page of the website, tell them to look you up the way I told you. 5 people. Do you or someone you know, did they do a forbearance agreement? Are they struggling to make their payments? That's it. Can I take your information? Can I do this? And then you can get into tap cards and business cards and all of that. We've got the videos and all of that on the coaching website if you want to take it to the next level. Generally speaking, at that moment, I just ask them for the information or their information so that I have it. I'm not a big fan of business cards, which is kind of why we push the tap card thing. And I'm a fan of my tap card and I use it. But that's method number one. Method number two, direct marketing, right? The monster approach, the 12-step approach, the AMS approach, or as Derek likes to call it now, the advocate marketing approach. Okay, they're all the same. Basically, you send us an email, we send you leads. You take those leads, you put them onto these pre-printed labels, right? And they're repealable. They look like FedEx forms. We did it all yesterday. You put out their names, you make 12 of them. You go out on Monday, you go out on Wednesday, you have appointments on Tuesday and Thursday. Simple as that. And I know Michelle's actually gotten a couple. Steve Love just got like a pair in the last couple of hours, in fact. So you get these appointments, you don't call them, they're already pre-qualified. If they're unhappy with me and Home Advocates, not you, ever. They don't know you. They don't know you put that up. They don't know a thing about you. They know Home Advocates. At that moment, you're working as an advocate, putting that tag in place. You don't need your license number. It's Home Advocates. When you call the 800 number, it's qualified as Home Advocates. It's not qualified as your name. You put your initials on there with a tracking number so that we can track it and send it to you. We send it to you along with their phone number and possible captured email address. And then you go on Tuesday and Thursday based on the scheduled times. When you get to the front door, this is where everybody varies on the initial approach. And I think for everybody that's on the call that isn't a part of the program, you can go to the front page of our website, Home Advocates, just type in Home Advocates, and you can actually see the alternatives to foreclosure, and you can see I make sure that it's on the front page so that if they go, they're going to look up Home Advocates before you show up. Let's all accept this, okay? There is no question in my mind that if somebody has an appointment with Home Advocates, they have typed in the words Home Advocates, they found page one, I've got an appointment with, say, Byron or Sally or Lori, they're going to look for your name on the front page of that website. Trust me when I say that. This is an absolute given fact of what will occur, right? That's a double lock for the qualification of you at the front door. So you have to kind of go to the door with the attitude that you're bringing value at the front door. And so this is where people vary. Again, for women right now, please be a little more careful. Please let people know when you're going, if you're going on a homeowner appointment alone. Don't go into a house where you don't know anything. Please, 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 please. I'm reading too many stories about women right now. Well, you can, hold on, Deandra, I'll cover that right now. So that's how that works. Got it? Now, we've refined the process to 3 steps on your first appointment. Step number 1, make an introduction that you're comfortable with, right? That's really what matters. Make an introduction that you're comfortable with. Got it? It's really important. Make an introduction you're comfortable with. And that's number 1. And let them know you're an advocate right out of the gate, right? You have a disclosure in your hand that we have written. It's been reviewed. It lets them know that you are a realtor acting as an advocate. And I think that's really important right out of the gate, Fred. I think you need to let them know that you're an advocate, but you are a realtor. That's just good disclosure, right?
Oh yeah, I always disclose that. One of the things that I also do when I'm on the appointment is let them know that, oh, I'm working with an attorney. Oh, I got a loan modification going. Well, the gentleman who's from Vegas, I forget, is it Steve Thompson? Is that his name?
Yeah, Steve Thompson.
Or is it Miles? It's what the one.
No, Miles is in LA. Steve Thompson is Vegas.
Okay, he's the one that did the video that we watched yesterday.
That was Gilbert.
Okay, that's a good video to send to everybody because it discusses the loan modification. And the way he handles it is exactly correct, because what people are thinking, oh, I'm going to get a loan modification, but the bank isn't going to give you a loan modification if you have equity in your home. And people need to understand why that is the case. Can anybody tell me who's listening right now why the bank won't give you a loan modification if you have equity in your home? And Lee, you're not allowed to answer this question.
Okay.
But I think that is so important for people to know, because that's the first thing they're going to hear when they're at the door, and you need to overcome that right away. The other thing you need to know are the foreclosure laws. You need to know those, and you need to be able to hand that to the person and say, let me explain what you need to know about this process. Oh, I'm not in foreclosure. And then I'll ask them, well, have you missed any payments? And then I'll ask them, are you aware when you miss payments, that's the start of a foreclosure process? And wouldn't you like to know what to do before they actually file the notice of default? And do you know what the costs are when the banks start filing all those documents? I just ask them questions. And I said, I'm here to help you, and I'm here to tell you all these answers for free. And yes, I am a real estate agent. And yes, we will go over your options. I'm going to tell you that your best option after we're done talking, 99% of the time, is going to be sell your house before you lose it to foreclosure. I'm going to just let you know that up front, so you don't think I'm going to come in here with any shark fin on the back of my back, and then I'm trying to steal your house from you and I want to buy it and make money off you. I'm just telling you, your best option is probably going to be to do that. But I do work with investors as well. So I give them solutions right as soon as they start being negative. And then I'll say, oh, really? Well, have you called your attorney lately? Oh, really? Have you called your bank lately and asked them what the status is? Oh, no, I have someone handling. Okay, well, let's call them up and find out what actually is going on. And then let's call the bank and find out what from the loss mitigator, what's going on. Let's do it right now, because I'm here to help you. I've been at some houses for 4 hours. And by the way, I get videos from them. And the reason why I get videos from these people, and I included some of these videos, by the way, I included them in the little chat box, and I got all kinds of videos. I got a video from a realtor in Palm Springs. I got a video from a homeowner in Bakersfield 10 years ago. I got a video from a Hispanic lady, and I was speaking Spanish for over an hour with this lady, and she understood. And then I got a video on a reverse mortgage, which is a possible solution to avoid foreclosure. And I show these videos to the homeowner. And then I say, what questions do you have for me? Because I'm here to help you. And the more they want to clam up, like shut their shell, where you go in and you have to crack the oyster to find the little, whatever ruby in the center of the shell, the more they clam up is the more, I don't know, the stronger my passion becomes. I speak even more passionately. I speak even louder. And I'm the kind of person that's like, if I knew you as a family member, I would take my hands and I would put them on your shoulders and I would shake you back and forth violently right now if you were a family member of mine. And I would say, you need to listen to me. And that's my approach. And I don't, because you're not going to get through to these people.
No, you're not. It's funny that you say that. So I want to hook Wayne up here, because there are people on here that are, not a part of the system or even the old system that are just a part of my list. My answer to you, Wayne, would be, does it make more sense to get in line with 50 agents chasing an expired, or going and calling your title attorney, or going on Realty Track or Property Radar, getting a list of pre-foreclosure properties and just knocking them. Part of our goal at Home Advocates, even if you don't work with us, and our approaches work, we guarantee our approaches. Even if you don't work with us, my goal is to educate you as well, right? So if you do nothing more than get a list of pre-foreclosure properties in New York, and you were to just go door knock them and say, hi, I'm Wayne. I noticed in the public records that you're having difficulty making your payments. Do you know your alternatives to foreclosure? The 9 alternatives don't change. They're right on the front. They're on the front of our website. You are happy to copy, cut, and paste and turn them into a document for yourself. We have really nice tricked out docs for all our people, but disclose, you got to disclose you're an agent, right? But it's always the first same opening move. I'm just here to teach you the 9 alternatives to foreclosure. It's up to you to make a decision. And I agree with Fred. You got to be passionate about it. If your whole end game is to be there and get the listing on day one, that's just not going to occur with these people. Because the number one answer, and I'm sure I'm going to get an amen from the entire group on this. Oh, I got it all taken care of. Oh, well, okay, I wouldn't be here. It's a public record, right? There's always a comeback to all of this, right? So our approach is introduction. I'm here to teach this to you. Here are the alternatives. Do you have any idea of what you're going to do? I just have one question before we leave. And by the way, this is the way the script is written, the final script. And this goes back to what Lori said. What did the bank do to you? That is $1 million line. That has been used for literally a decade, written by a guy named Nino Sabroso at one of our events, to when David Bartels and I were running this with AMS and Monster. We literally looked at each other at the courtyard in Vegas going, is that the best line you've ever heard? He goes, that's the best line I've ever heard. I go, it's a great line. It's not as good as the second appointment. So David's spin on it is, I'm going on a first appointment to have a second appointment. Okay, I'm not going on a first appointment to do a listing. I didn't even bring listing paperwork with me. I'm just here to educate you, right? Take it way hands off. If you're talking about listing your house, that's great. We can go to my office, or we can set a time and we will meet. We will do it there. I want to tell you the appropriate value of your house, what your return, like, you got to be professional about it. If you don't even know if you literally don't know if you're going to just be baited by somebody who's just looking to see if you're there for the sale. I think people are that cynical. At least that's the way I think. I think people are that cynical.
I think what you need to do is you need to understand the way the bank thinks. You just need to understand. And Lori's on top of it. She understands, okay? The bank wants the money now. There's an inventory problem in the United States, okay? This is the biggest thing that I can tell you right now. And we touched on this yesterday. There's an real estate inventory problem in the United States. Do you know that the government is interested in helping to increase the real estate inventory levels? Guess how they're going to do it? I'm going to give you a hint. It has something to do with not making your payment on time. The government wants more inventory. Okay. Last year, what did the government do? The government said, we're going to bail you out. We're going to bail you out. Well, in October of 2021, they said, we're not going to bail you out anymore. We're not going to bail you out anymore. But now the government is saying, we want more inventory. The way they're going to do it is by foreclosing on people.
Correct.
This needs to be explained to the homeowner. This
is very for real.
And it's news right now. Okay. So Lori gets it. All right. Lori gets it. They want the money now. The bank gets paid faster if the property goes to sell. If they do a loan modification, they don't get paid now. They want the money yesterday. Sally says it, Lori says it. Correct. Okay. And I already know Terrell knows what the heck is going on in this, you know, Terrell, you know, she gets it too. So you got to express that. And when I start seeing more NODs in my neighborhood, I'm going out tagging myself because I'm looking for, I'm going to pay people to go out and tag for me. That's what I'm going to do. A lot of people are going to be searching for jobs because the recession is coming. And when the recession comes, guess what? People lose their jobs.
Yep. That's for real. And we're only a couple of months from that, which would lead to what do you think you want to do? Well, look, the options of what they're going to tell you, I'm working with an attorney is going to be on the list. Oh, so you're filing a bankruptcy. I didn't say that. Well, that would be the only reason to work with an attorney. And by the way, I've said it a million times on this call. That is literally the only answer. The only reason you're working with an attorney is to file bankruptcy. No, they said that they're filing this goes back to what Sally saw on auction.com. That's why you see that. The attorneys lie. That's what they do. We're going to stall the foreclosure. We're going to keep you in your house. You just keep paying us $500 a month or whatever crazy number they came up with. And we'll just keep refiling and stretching this out. Whatever. Really, loan mods aren't going to happen. There's too much equity in the houses, so the banks aren't going to do it. And people generally don't have jobs in these 3 million positions. They've all probably exhausted their forbearance. I mean, their options become very limited. I mean, I'm actually shocked at how many people tell me, like, I'm still hearing stories of, well, I want to find out like a loan mod and make my payments, or I just want to start my payments up again. Well, what about the past payments? Like, what?
Okay,
you got to pay them back to make current payments.
I have an
Go ahead,
idea,
Fred.
Lee. For the red people that are tagging right now, they should do a video with you and say, hey, I'm the former chief loss mitigator of IndyMac Bank. Let me tell you what's going to happen with loan modifications right now. And then, you know, if Terrell's out there with a client, and make a 2 or 3 minute video and just say, hey, I just want you to watch this real quick because this is what's going on right now. And this is someone that used to be working in the loss mitigation department. I just want to let you know what you're being told and what the truth is may or may not be the same. And by the way, are you aware that lenders are allowed to lie to you, just like police officers are allowed to lie to you in a police interrogation room? Are you aware of that? Just a question, because you're not always going to hear the correct thing and you're not always going to hear the truth from the lender. And if you would like me to give you some phone numbers of some people where the lenders lied to them, let me hand them to you now. Let's confirm that. Those are so important things. Those are like, you got to get these people thinking.
Yeah, reasonable doubt. Again, I'm going back to the Lincoln lawyer moment, but you got to create reasonable doubt, right? You got to, which leads us to either following up, meeting with them again, bringing them load mod information. And I'm happy to shoot videos on all that stuff for everybody, right? I think it should probably be in the conversion package instead of like ask the banker. There should be video clips you can send. Cool, I want to send that, or can I bring you back something, or can I show you something? I can shoot those. I can do it along this weekend with the crazy amount of email writing I have to do. But which takes us to probably what's most important, right? You create it by relationships. And this isn't like a relationship with somebody that was a referral. This is somebody that you've met basically under hostile terms. So you've got to keep doing the law of reciprocity here. Like, you've got to keep bringing value to yourself so you stay top of mind. So you got to keep giving them information, and all of that stuff is built into the program. I've been into the archives. All that AMS stuff is still there. All the Ask the Banker stuff, like all the follow-up documentation, know this, California, Florida, like all that stuff's still in there. For those of you that are doing red, you literally have a catalog of video that you can jam down their throat. But you got to get to that second appointment. And it's at the second appointment that I think it's completely appropriate to really press the question of, what do you think you're going to do? Right? I'm going to win the lottery. I'm going to have, the government's going to fix it. Doesn't matter. This is the other $1 million closing line. And I'm happy to share it on this call and even record it, which is, okay, that's great. I hope you win the lottery. What's your plan B? I'd like to be your plan B. Like, if you can find no other solution, I would like you to contact me so that we can get the equity out of this house. Because I'm telling you, the bank's not going to cut a deal. You have equity. Okay. And they're working very quickly right now to foreclose on property. It is part of the White House's plan to not stall this process any further than they already have. They're not doing bailouts. It's literally written by the White House. And I'll add the White House document that I have into stuff you can take to the front door. So if you do encounter the government's going to fix it, this government, the one that wants to actively foreclose to create more affordable housing, that government, and it's this week, done, printed on White House letterhead, no less. It's a press release with a complete breakdown of their plan of offering basically anybody who can breathe sort of some kind of federal loan of some kind that they haven't even created. Like, it's crazy what they want to do. The idea is to be the plan B. I've joked about it. I think that would be great to go to a bar and ask women out and they go, ew, no. Well, can I be your plan B? That's really what you're doing. Like, it's funny on the surface, right? And by the way, Seth Godin talks about it in Permission-Based Marketing exactly that way. Like, we just skip from the dating process right to marriage. Like, that is the number one issue with real estate professionals. I didn't get a listing. I went on one of your appointments. I didn't get a listing. Who told you I get listings on there for, like, Michelle got one, like within, one appointment, and I've gotten them within one appointment. That's not how this is built. This is building a list, which most of you don't have, in pre-foreclosure. These people are going to do everything stupid under the sun. And then at the last minute, they're going to call you and give you the listing. That's how this works. Welcome to pre-foreclosures. Have a nice day. That's how it works. Everybody is so conditioned to believe that they're going to get a forbearance or a loan mod or some kind of crazy, wacky, government's going to bail me out. The state's going to not let them foreclose. Like, no, that's not true. As of May 1st, all the restrictions in every state have ended. I mean, there's a couple of places that are trying to get end of the year status for renters again, but not for people who have equity. You guys are on the chopping block. You guys have been on the chopping block since last summer. They just couldn't figure out how to disseminate, good word again, between renters and homeowners. So they just basically lumped you all into one category because evictions, unlawful detainers, whatever word you want to use, or the eviction process is generally about the same between renters and homeowners. So it became too cumbersome to try to create different rules, and they didn't want to alienate one group or the other. So here we are. It's May 1st. Game's on. Okay. I know this right now. I know how quick the process is right now. I know that they are aggressively doing these things right now. Like, it's wild. It's really wild at the rate that they're actually actively foreclosing and getting judgments and doing this. And if you want to jump in front of that and do it, then do it, right? For those that are in the program, use these basic steps. You can be creative. I'll also add the video interview that I did on Tina Herman's client onto the 12-step approach. We broke it down on one of the Thursday calls. I thought it was I did it well. I didn't lose my mind until she said a couple of crazy things, and all I did was make some crazy facial looks into the Zoom camera during it, but I didn't say anything. But people are going to say crazy things. At the end of the day, they just are. And they're going to believe crazy things. So be it.
So Art asked a question at 9:59 a.m. and he
Okay,
says,
hold on.
"Where
Let
can
me
we-"
end this right here and then we'll do things offline for you guys that made the time on the call.